feeling weirdly guilty and sad about NC for the first time. I'm feeling so many confusing feelings right now. I have been NC with my in-laws for over a year, with the exception of one visit a few months ago because my husband begged me to please let them visit our son at our house. I could tell they were on their best behavior during the visit because it had been 10 months since they'd seen me in LO. But I had the hardest time seeing them with my son after they had made my life hell since I went into labor. They have not apologized. They have never taken accountability, nor will they ever. They still think how they treated me and acted was not a big deal because they were upset, aka their temper tantrum because they didn't get their way when my husband told them we wanted a week or so to bond with our firstborn son before having visitors, and they went ballistic. Long story short, they could not get over it or forgive me, even though it was a decision both me and my husband made, for taking away their grandparent right of meeting him first, and they went on the largest smear campaign I've ever seen to try to pit people against me. And it worked. I think that's what hurts the most. Yes, they were awful and ruined my peace during labor, and yes, my MIL in particular made my postpartum miserable. It's hard enough to move past that on my own for my self-healing because I don't want hate and resentment on my heart. But the fact that they just went on ranting rampages saying untrue things about me and my character, trying to get my husband against me, it didn't work and backfired on them immensely. I think that's what hurt the most. I am a kind person who never treats anyone with disrespect or malice, and I know I don't deserve it. But weirdly, I feel like I'm in mourning, which doesn't make sense to me with how much they, especially MIL, have hurt me over the past couple years. I'm mourning not only in-laws I wish I had, but in-laws that I thought I had. Back before we got engaged 2.5 years into our relationship, I had honestly felt like I hit the jackpot with having great in-laws. Yes, my MIL sometimes said backhanded compliments or acted entitled or guilt-tripped us, but we were kind of just like, oh, that's MIL being MIL. But then all of a sudden she was a different person once we got engaged. She actually said to me, when DH told me he proposed to you, that's when I fell in love with you, because I knew I had to. Before that, I thought she did love me and I was extremely hurt. She had told me she loved me all the time, but maybe she was just being fake. Her peachiness and entitlement got worse when we got married, again worse when I got pregnant, and even when I didn't think it could get any worse, they became psychos once I gave birth because we actually put up boundaries and they felt like they lost control of us and were angry. I miss the relationship we used to have when I thought we had a good relationship, and I'm sad that they can't be the wonderful grandparents that we thought they were going to be. And I'm mourning my best friend who was my SIL, who originally introduced me and my husband. We used to talk every single day, but she took her parents' side and she hasn't talked to me since she yelled at me while I was in labor telling me that I was tearing the family apart and that her parents hated me all because we wanted a week to ourselves to bond with our baby. I was shocked. She didn't even bother to meet our son until he was 6 months, which was the last time LO and I saw them before going NC. I am missing my best friend too and mourning that my son will not have a cool auntie. And we don't really have a village. My parents live about an hour away and help when they can, but they are also older and have busy retired lives, and my husband and I do pretty much everything by ourselves. We have only had one date since my son was born once he was a year old, and that was 7 months ago. But I could never trust my in-laws with my son alone. My trust and respect for them has been broken beyond repair. I think it's bringing it all to the surface because my husband had to go to my in-laws' house yesterday to pick up a package he accidentally had delivered at their house, and he decided to have a talk with them about how he missed them and basically wanted them to apologize to me. I had told him it was pointless because they did exactly what we both thought they would. They denied ever talking badly about me, dismissed and deflected all of their bad behavior and actions, and turned it around on me. The definition of Darvo LOL. However, surprisingly, for the first time since I gave birth, they didn't talk badly about me to my husband. They didn't fight it this time. He said they seemed defeated. My MIL said she was surprised that the way they treated me during labor and postpartum created the fallout that it did. And I'm thinking, how the hell can they not understand that their actions have consequences? My husband said they are absolutely devastated, and yesterday, I told him that I don't feel sorry for them at all because they did this to themselves. If they were nice to me in the first place or apologized and even acknowledged that how they treated me was wrong in the first place, or owned up to the fact that they talked SHD about me to everyone, including my husband on multiple occasions, instead of lying about it, then maybe I could have moved past that, or at least tried to. But instead, they have continuously talked badly about me for 20 months and have spread rumors about me so people will feel sorry for them and get on their side, and they paint me in a terrible light. They seem to forget how I facilitated my husband visiting and calling more when we were dating/engaged/married, how I included them with our wedding, pregnancy, etc. because I knew it meant a lot to them. Today I'm feeling guilt and sadness for the first time since it all happened. I know that was probably their goal, but it just sucks that they can't be the in-laws I always dreamed of and thought that I was marrying into in the first place. I'm not sure what to do right now. I don't really want a relationship with them, but at the same time, I'm just wishing so much that they could be nice and treat me with respect like they used to, and to own up to their SHD, and be the grandparents that we had dreamed of, but I don't really see that happening. We have already given them so many chances over the past couple of years, and they seem hell-bent on saving their ego and pride, and that seems to be more important to them than their only grandson. Yet they claim they're devastated, but they're not doing anything about it. It's just sad. My son doesn't deserve that either. Edit to add. One of the most annoying things is that after my husband asked them to apologize, as he's done multiple times since birth, and they claim that they already apologized and tell everyone they already did, but I won't forgive them, and they definitely never apologized. In fact, Mael refused to even discuss how she hurt me during labor and postpartum. Her exact words were, "No, I'm not going to talk about that. You're not over that yet? You need to just get over it. I'm not discussing it any further." And Phil has never even had a conversation with me about it because he's too much of a coward and hides behind Mil and talks just as much crap about me as she does. Just because I go against the grain now. And Sil thinks we are cruel for keeping their only grandson away from them, as if it's their right to have access to him whenever they want. But it doesn't work that way, and my husband stands behind me, and they say I'm brainwashing him because he finally stood up for me. And now to the next story, story 2. Need advice. Mil is an hypocrite and doesn't respect us. I need advice on how to deal with my Mil. It's given my partner, her daughter, and me quite a lot of anxiety and stress. So, I'll start with some background, and then I'll move on to the issues. We started dating back in 2015. We come from very different backgrounds. I'm middle class, the first in my family to go to uni, and yes, we're simple people. My partner comes from a huge scholar family, with some millionaires here and there. They are traditional and quite a lot of elite people. Her parents had everything they wanted in their life. You might already see where this is going. They disapproved of me, and they had different political views. According to them, my family had no culture. I'm a journalist, not a doctor or an engineer or whatever it is out there in life that makes money. I'll be honest. I am also a challenging person. I have strong opinions, speak my mind, and don't mind arguing. On the other hand, they are political, emotional people who don't like my disrespectful behavior. 6 months later, we moved overseas with my partner, and now we live on the other side of the planet, a 30-hour flight from where we were living. Over the years, her parents never really believed in US. Even when we started, they thought it was just a fling. Then I proposed, and still, they were not set on our relationship. Then we got married, and they started to treat me better. Now we have a son and a good job, and respect is there, or at least acknowledgement that I am here for good. We never needed anyone's support. We achieved great things in the past 10 years as immigrants, and we are going to a good spot in our lives with marriage, house ownership, kids, and good salaries. Even though they keep saying we'll be good in life, and we will help you guys, give you things, and be in a good spot, we don't need their help, and this is starting to sound very pedantic and not genuine. We can't say good things about ourselves, get shut down, or are arrogant. The other difficult side is that my family cannot get along with my Mil or even the Fil. They are not keen to make any moves to improve the situation. This also puts a strain on us, as we want them to do that for the sake of our son. And when we visit our home country, we can actually get everybody in the same room without being anxious someone is going to F***ck up. The big issues are, we always need to be really careful about what we say. My MIL is a real hypocrite. She keeps saying that she worked really hard her whole life, which is a freaking lie. She had everything handed to her. Office when she graduated, home when she married. I stopped working when I had kids. Every time a relative died, inheritance came through. I never had any of this, so it's really hard to connect. She needs to be the best in all. Now that my partner and I are doing really well, we can't really share much, otherwise, she will keep talking over us. She never freaking listens and needs to talk more than anyone else. She always needs to be the best of the best. She is a very negative person towards others, and she tries to be political, but we see right through her. When they visit, like she is here for 40 days, we get extremely tired. We can't really be free and talk to her. The same will happen when we go to their place for holidays. It's coming at the end of the year. Bottom line is, we are freaking exhausted, anxious, and sad. We want this to work out. She is the grandma to our son. She is my wife's mom. Honestly, does anybody have any advice on how to overcome this and just try to make this work? Should we just gray wall her when she's speaking? But that will make her so mad. Should I approach my parents to try to get them to get along and plan for things when we are over? Being away from them is not an option because we want our son to interact with them as much as possible.